Welcome back. The National Council on Public Transportation is calling on St. Lucians to wisen up and to refrain from projecting their fears and prejudices onto passengers who exhibit slight signs of illness. The organization's second vice president, Michael Flood, says whilst he understands the concerns, not every sniffle is a sign of the dreaded COVID-19, and so commuters should not be made to feel like pariahs if their health is not in tip-top shape.
St. Lucians are being asked to refrain from the stigmatization and ill treatment of persons exhibiting minor ailments on public transportation. The second vice president of the NCOPT says not every sign of illness equates to a COVID-19 infection, and so both drivers and commuters need to stay calm whilst at the same time adhering to protocols and etiquette. Michael Flood said the issue has truly escalated to an unnecessary level, and this, he said, has to stop.
Let me be blunt, okay? This is sheer ignorance, okay? Because just 3 weeks ago, somebody would cough, sneeze in your face, and you'd say nothing, all right? Yes, we've had two positive cases. We cannot tell whether there is any other or there are other cases in the community. But until then, whilst we need to practice proper hygiene, but you cannot tell somebody, we have allergy sufferers. One of my daughters is a major allergy sufferer. Okay, are you telling me because of the COVID-19 that she ought not to sneeze or she ought not to cough? What you could say to the passenger is, I would appreciate if you coughing or sneezing that you cover your mouth in the appropriate manner. But you cannot tell somebody they cannot cough on a public bus.
Flood said this sort of behavior is unacceptable from both minibus drivers and members of the public. He said both parties need to follow the guidelines given surrounding such situations.
Conversely, I will say to passengers, in the event you want to cough, of course there are protocols in how you could cough. You cough in your inner elbow or you cover your mouth with a tissue or a towel. So, both parties need to work with each other. I would hate to know that drivers are deliberately going out there, discriminating. That's what it is to me, discriminating against persons by virtue of them coughing or sneezing. And conversely, those persons need to understand that we've been asked to practice social distancing. And if at all they have that condition where they have the allergy sufferers or something else, or mild flu, they need to understand that they need to practice proper hygiene where they cover their mouth and noses when they...
Flood said if he is aware of any drivers partaking in such discrimination, he will call on them to be held accountable. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness announced on Monday that the full transitioning of the Victoria Hospital to the Owen King EU Hospital will commence Wednesday, the 25th of March. The Civil Service Association says while it is happy that the move is being expedited, the structure of the facility is still not clear enough to ease the minds of workers.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness has promised that the public will be updated continuously on the transitioning process from the Victoria Hospital to the Owen King EU Hospital. But one entity that says the flow of information has been sorely lacking is the Civil Service Association, CSA. The CSA continues to express concern regarding the secondment of staff currently employed with the Victoria Hospital and the National Mental Wellness Center to the OKEU Hospital.
We have raised objection on the various grounds. One, that the OKEU does not currently, or if they do, have not been presented to our members a structure indicating what posts is available at that institution, what are the salaries attached to that post, what are the conditions of work that they will be going into. And also, we are very concerned that we have heard that there will be a management contract issued to a foreign national. We don't know what that management contract is.
The association is calling for the government to put a structure in place that will help alleviate the fears that many workers have about the status of their jobs.
Our members are being asked to be seconded for a period of 2 years. At the end of that secondment, a determination will be made as to whether there will be a second secondment or a third. Our concern relative to that management contract is whether that foreign institution would be granted in their contract the possibility to bring workers from wherever they want into the institution. I'm referring to primarily out-of-state employees. And so if that is part of their contract, which we are not aware of, it means that they would have the authority at the end of our members' contract to determine whether they are keeping them or not keeping them. And so that has laid a lot of fear in our members in that they don't know what the future of their status will be.
In a letter addressed to CSA members, the president stated, quote, "The CSA has always been opposed to any contractual arrangement for the staff. We never supported the secondment of staff from 2 years to 8 years in the manner described to us."
They know for a fact that the law says that at the end of the secondment, if they return back to the public service, the government will seek to get places for them within the service. But we know that that is not a possibility because the government is still currently struggling to relocate its existing employees across the service. So we know definitely, unless the government goes to Parliament and approve structures that would cause vacant positions to remain available for these officers when they return back to the service, their fears will continue to be very high.
The CSA vows to continue to advocate for a better arrangement for its members.
Managing Director of Massey Stores Limited, Martin Dorville, has addressed public concerns over the recent increase in prices in consumer goods. Dorville went on to dispel rumors of price gouging, assuring that Massey Stores has a zero-tolerance policy for this sort of activity. Jacques Wooding reports.
Massey Stores Limited has issued a statement notifying that there had been no price gouging done on part of the company. The statement made by the company's managing director, Martin Dorville, came following several reports of price inflation on certain items, especially sanitation products, in light of the increase on their demand due to the confirmation of the first reported cases of COVID-19 on island.
Massey does not support and will not partake in price gouging. So we absolutely discourage it and we urge everyone else not to partake in it.
Dorville said not only does Massey Stores prohibit price gouging, but penalties will be issued if any associates of Massey are found guilty of this activity as well.
We urge our other retailers, and I have no proof that any of them are, so I'm not indicting anyone, including the man on the street, that this is not the time to take advantage of our St. Lucian public. In fact, there's never a time when we should do it, but certainly at a time when we need each other, where we are fighting a war on this virus, there is no place for price gouging in my book. And whether it be from a supplier or from somebody who we sell product to, if we know that you are partaking in price gouging, then possibly you'll no longer be a partner with us going forward.
He underscored that any price increases on these items will reflect the global situation.
What is happening around the globe is that some products are actually increasing in price. Some significantly, others not significantly. That's not the case for all items. Hand sanitizers, for example. When we bring in hand sanitizers, the cost is going to go up, right? The cost is going to go up significantly. As a retailer, we'll be hard-pressed not to avert an increase in the price of those products. So we want customers to understand that in those cases we are price takers, right? And as such, you will find some increases.
Dorville said the company is working towards restocking on sanitation products as soon as possible. However, he noted that with similar increase in demand in other countries, the company has been restricted on the amount it will be able to purchase. For Hot 7 News, I am Jacques Wooding.
This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. Sports and weather are coming up after the break.